A lot of people still believe that the more you damage the muscle, the more it grows. Wrong. Muscle damage is just a byproduct of training, not the engine of growth. If you overload on volume and train as many days as possible just to be sore all the time, you're wasting energy on repairing damage, not building new muscle. In other words, soreness does not equal growth. And what about the famous pump, that insane swelling feeling during your workout? Sure, it can help with fiber recruitment, but it's not the main driver either. The pump works better as a technique indicator. If you're training back and all you feel is your biceps pumped, something is wrong. So don't fool yourself. Getting pumped during the workout doesn't mean you're going to grow afterward. Now let's get to the point. The number one factor for hypertrophy is mechanical tension. It happens when the muscle is forced to generate maximum effort, when the reps start slowing down, when you're close to failure. And here's the detail. It's not only about heavy weight. You can generate mechanical tension with both heavy and lighter loads. The difference is whether you're truly getting close to failure. But let's be honest, heavier weights are much more efficient for this. Why? Because you need far fewer reps to get there. A practical example, if you do a bicep curl with 1 kilo, 2lb2, you'd have to crank out like 80 reps just to finally hit failure and only then get that mechanical tension working for you. Now, if you curl with 14 kilos, 30 bar B, in 6 to 10 reps you're already close to failure, getting the right stimulus, saving time, not wasting all your energy, and without drowning yourself in unnecessary muscle damage. And science is clear on this. The best range to take advantage of mechanical tension effectively is around 6 to 15 reps. That's where you get the perfect balance between intensity, efficiency, and safety. And here's a little nudge. It doesn't matter if you're just checking the boxes of your program, doing the prescribed reps, if you're not making those reps count. Doing 10 reps, just because the program says so, without ever pushing near failure, is way less effective than doing 8 or 9 reps with real intensity, making every rep meaningful. So it's not about how many reps you do. It's about how you perform each rep. Okay, that's the theory. But what does this look like in practice? It's simple. Mechanical tension shows up when your reps start to slow down, when the bar takes forever to move even though you're pushing with everything you've got. Let's take a look at these clips of people training. In this part where he talks about time under tension, he's doing slow reps on purpose. That doesn't actually bring you gains. Now here, in this part, the set is truly intense, and the reps slow down involuntarily. Now, a quick demonstration of how the last reps of your sets should look. You should always fight the weight, and never quit before it's time. Now this guy highlights in his caption that the last reps of the set are the ones that really matter, and he's absolutely right. And notice the effort and the speed of that final rep. Now, we'll see several examples from the same girl, showing how you should fight the weight to complete the last rep, and not give up at the first sign that it's getting hard. Notice how she moves slowly and struggles with the load until she gets the rep done. That signals maximum effort to the muscle, telling it that it needs to grow in order to handle this demand. Why this works. The role of mTOR. Inside your body, there's a protein called mTOR. Think of it as a switch that decides whether or not to build muscle. When you generate enough mechanical tension, this switch gets flipped on. Your body gets the message, we need to build more muscle to handle this challenge. Without intensity, without mechanical tension, mTOR doesn't fully activate, and you can spend hours in the gym without really growing. Here's another truth people forget. Muscles don't grow during training, they grow during rest. When you recover, your body rebuilds the fibers and actually overshoots the original level. This is called supercompensation. If you don't rest, that cycle gets broken. The result? Stagnation or even regression. Sleeping well, eating properly, and respecting rest days are just as important as lifting heavy. But here's the kicker. Training the same way forever won't cut it. Your body adapts. If you use the same weight with the same reps, week after week, eventually that load won't create enough mechanical tension anymore. That's where progressive overload comes in. Improve your technique. Add more weight while keeping good form, or squeeze out more reps with the same weight. Every workout should be one step above the last. No progression, no results. So let's go for a very simple and practical explanation of what progressive overload looks like. Let's suppose your target rep range is between 8 and 10 reps, and within that range you're using a weight that takes you close to failure. In the first week, let's say on a chest press, you start with a warm-up or a load check set, 15 lbis for just 4 reps. Then, in your first working set, you go with 20 lbis and hit 10 reps. On the second working set, you also use 20 lbis, get 9 reps, and you fail or come very close to failure. Now in the second week, aiming to progress, you use the same weights but manage to push out more reps. You keep the warm-up with 15 lbs for 4 reps, and then on your 2 working sets with 20 lbs, you hit 11 reps each. By doing this, you actually went beyond your target rep range of 8 to 10, and that means it's time for a small progression in weight. So in week 3, you warm up with 20 lbs for 4 reps, and in your working sets, you increase to 25 lbs, getting 9 reps on the first set and 8 reps on the second set, right inside the target rep range, but now with heavier weight. From this point on, your goal is always to keep progressing. And that's exactly what brings physical changes as well, because every time you're pushing close to failure, your body adapts. Over time, you'll need harder and harder challenges for the level you've reached, and that's what guarantees continuous growth. Of course, there will be days where you can't progress in either reps or weight. That's normal. Factors like sleep, nutrition, and even exercise order will directly affect your performance. And if you're a natural lifter, understand this. There are no shortcuts. It's not about inventing fancy new exercises or random shock workouts. It's about mastering the basics, repeating them consistently, and making sure every week you give your body a reason to adapt. That's how naturals build real muscle, with mechanical tension, plus progression, plus smart recovery. So forget the obsession with soreness, with the pump, or with endless marathon workouts. What truly builds muscle is mechanical tension. Training close to failure, progressing over time, and letting your body rest so it can adapt. If your training improves, your physique improves. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly how to apply progressive overload step by step so you never stall on your gains again. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help us reach CBUM.